What's up, everybody? This is Kurt H. I am the Lazy Farmer, and welcome to today's episode of Lazy Farmer Simulations. We are in the Riverside Yard. Let me get down here, give you guys a video. I always forget this. What's up, Hank and Dr. RP? That's what I'm just trying to figure out how I can shorten that. That's Dr. RP, and then we've got Questionable Rail Productions. How you doing? Questionable. Actually, I should be a part of that one. My rail productions are kind of questionable too. Anyway, yeah, we're hanging out at 2 p.m. Yeah, no, this is actually kind of late for me, Hank. By the way, it's like almost 11 o'clock here, and I actually did wake up at 4 o'clock this morning. Other than that, I mean, yeah, I turned on something on the TV and then fell right back to sleep again. I figured it was a little too early to stream, and then I literally just woke up. I think I was laying in bed for about a half hour just trying to wake up. I was even too lazy to go make myself a cup of coffee. I know it's Zola. How you doing? Questionable Rail Productions. I like that though. I like that better than Zola. So it is questionable. Anyway, so yeah, we're hanging out here on the Met, and I'm actually expecting to have the new that'll be my day tomorrow. That if I'm expecting to be paid tomorrow, which that means that opens up the budget. That means I get the new route, the AGS route down there for Norfolk Southern, and setting up a server for that as well. But here we are locally, and I can't even say Southern California now. It's now the Southwest. We're in Modesto Yard for the Modesto Empire Traction, and we are kind of looking out over the Riverside Yard. And the Riverside Yard, if you guys look at the map there, you can see what the Riverside Yard is, and it feeds all the industries that are to the west. This is the third yard. Empire Traction starts in the Empire Yard, which they have basically 2 yards, almost 3 yards over there. But this is the Riverside Yard. So we're going to get to work. Got a lot of work to do. We got two strings of cars that came in just for all the industries that cover all out in this area here. I just got back to RV with the 64. Oh, there you go. All right. Yep. I've been like, I don't know. I've been on a kind of a kick as far as, I mean, I've been wanting to, well, actually, I tried to get on the Roseville, and I know that, thank you to Kung Fu Beer for hosting that server. He did finally update it, but I tried to get over there, and it wasn't updated. So I came over here and I started playing around in the Met, and this is almost, I mean, I kind of considered that this is maybe where I want to be. But for those of you that are not familiar, we have the Roseville server going as part of the Lazy Farmer server farm, and then we also have the Pittsburgh line south and South Fork secondary. Yeah, Pittsburgh line east. Sorry. Pittsburgh line east, South Fork secondary, and then we also have the Mohawk and Selkirk routes as well too, which are pretty much open to everybody. Colfax is ready to go back. Awesome. And I looked at Discord real quick when I was in there, and somebody was hanging out in my Discord channel. So, but those are open. And I haven't had a chance to talk with Beer, but apparently, I guess, I mean, we might have to come back and have a conversation. The servers I set up are mainly, let me get away from my keyboard. Why am I using my keyboard when I got a rail driver sitting right here in front of me? What's up, Albino Tailgater, otherwise known as CSX? I'm doing good. Hope you're doing well yourself. And before I go any farther, I mean, I really want to wish everybody a prosperous new year. That's right around the corner. Can't believe 2025 is here. It's just, I mean, it seems like 2024 just started. Whoa. Turn my volume down here. You've been on since 8:30? There you go. So, but, yeah, that's, I mean, okay, I think I need another cup of coffee. So the Roseville subdivision All you need to do is in order to play on that is just the base game and the Roseville DLC. Car packs are your choice if you want to. You don't need those, but if you want to get rid of, I think I saw one. There's still one car that they keep in that, I mean, I'm 100% on the car packs, but if you don't have any car packs, you're going to have an awful lot of cars that look like that, which is okay. It doesn't affect operation. It just means that everything you're looking at looks like Run8 boxcars, and you'll have a lot of locomotives that'll say Run8 as well too. So I'm doing good. I'm just playing my fishing game and watching you at the same time. There, okay, all right. I got a fishing game. I need to re-download it. And then I had was it Christmas? I spent with my daughter. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. So we were fun, and we were on the drive. We were talking quite a bit, and I've put Bigfoot back on because I mean, it's really weird. I think she looks like her mom, but she's me, and I mean, I have all of a sudden, instead of on the paranormal stuff, instead of doing ghosts and demons and all that stuff, now it's become cryptids. I've been reading a lot and watching a lot of things on cryptids and kind of like trying to debunk everything that's saying that cryptids are real. I'm more the debunker. We want to be more legitimate. So we've decided we're gonna start playing Bigfoot. Bigfoot is multiplayer. All right, here we go. And since Bigfoot's multiplayer, we're going to do, it's kind of like if you're familiar with, I want to say Dead by Daylight. It's kind of the same thing. But you can have a person play as Bigfoot and 4 other people play as humans. And Bigfoot starts attacking everybody. All right, here we go. Bigfoot is also a monster truck game. Oh, I did not know that. All right, let's get some car tags up. All right, so let's see. I'm looking for, I thought I had a bunch because I'm looking at the map, and right here at the southern end, before we head out onto the South Main, we have Stanislaus Food Products, which would be SFP 3, 4, and 2 that are right here off of, they're basically right here. So this is 2 right here, and then 3, 3 is over here, and then 4 is over there. So, and I know I had some for Stanislaus Food. Trying to see if I can find it. Trying to figure out where everything's at here. JCD, JSW. So everything here is for the MET 0204. So I downloaded and am using locally the config file from the Depot Plus. That is free. And guys, if you haven't been to the Depot Plus in a while, and if you're used to playing on the public server, just FYI, they're shutting down the public server for Southern California. Probably my expectation is they're going to shut that down on the 31st, and then on the 1st you're probably going to see the Norfolk Southern route added. And it is free. There's been some discussion on their forums that they're saying it's a money grab, but the thing is they don't charge any money. The only thing they want you to do if you want to play on their private servers, you got to take tests, and I mean it's something worth doing. You caught a 328. Wow. Bigfoot was a fun game. Now, Dr. RP, if you're talking about Bigfoot the monster truck, I don't know about that one. But if you're talking about Bigfoot, the Dead by Daylight spinoff is what I'm going to call it. You know what? I played it yesterday for a little bit. And I say for a little bit because I was dead in like 5 minutes. I was running around the camp trying to figure things out because I hadn't played it in a while. And then I got beat up by Bigfoot. So the AI is definitely pretty aggressive. All right, let's go down and see what we can grab. I got to look at the map again. I got the map up in there in the lower left-hand corner for you guys. Oak and CWG. Do I have any oak? I know I got some down there. Yeah, let's see. I do have on the pickup list. So these, I do have a lot of pickups to do. Oh, here's what I was looking for. BRE is where? Oh, I know where BRE. Okay, maybe I take those. What's down here? Oh, some more. Okay, so this up here, it's this side up here. All right, we're going to pull those off, and then I think we're going to run. And this is kind of, and I got to talk to my buddy Big Chris, I mean, because he works for the Met. But from what I read in the documents when you buy the DLC from Fresno Modesto, and in some kind of conversations that I've had with him, it's pretty much whatever cars come in get delivered. They work them as they come in. There's no real schedule other than they have certain employees that they show up at. You know, the scheduling that they have in the documentation is about right. But other than that, it's kind of no real order. They just go with the flow. So we're going to go grab and pull some of these cars off. And I'm going to be playing again a lot casually today, guys. So if you're expecting to hear a lot of horns, and I will turn the light on. But a lot of horns or bells. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not in that mood today. I'm not in that mood. And that's the nice thing about Run8 is you can play it as realistic as you want or as casual as you want. It's your virtual model railroad. Play the way you want to. Oh, I'll take a look at it. Definitely. So if anybody's interested, I'm thinking, you know, maybe we'll do something like that, do a weird stream and get some people that, you know, I do have now membership available for TheLazyFarmer simulations. And maybe we get some, if you want to be a member, maybe we'll get some private games going. I kind of like, I did put that, I thought about that, just put that in place. Going back to Run8, I mean the Depot Plus, I mean there, yeah, like I said, there was some discussion out there about it being a money grab. It's not. Everything they provide an awful lot of stuff for free. They provide the maps for free. They provide the configs for free, and that's pretty much what we're using here on our maps are the Depot Plus configs, because except for NorCal. Since they don't have a NorCal server, it's configs that I'm, there are configs that are in works, and yeah, it's stuff that I'm coming up with. I don't want ground view. There we go. Ooh, too much. Only need about 10 pounds. Right there. I only need about 10 pounds to bring it to a stop, and I slammed on 21 pounds, and you can hear it. I can't even say that word. Arapaimas can weigh over 800 pounds. Oh, hello. That'll feed you for a while. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these off. This middle track in here is kind of part of the South Main, so we've got 2 yards, one on each side, really, which make up the entirety of. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to grab these cars for Stanislaus Food Products. I'm going to put them on this track right over here. The fishing, I don't know if we were playing the same fishing game or not. I'm playing one that I got off of Steam, and the little starter lake, I don't know, something about that. It's like I mean, I played it, but it wasn't something that I wanted to stay with. Not that it's a bad game. I mean, graphically it looked great. The way it played looked great. I don't know. I made one mistake. I can't remember what it was. It seemed like I made a mistake, and then I was kind of stuck at that starter lake. But the thing about the starter lake, it reminded me of the very first time I took my son fishing. And there's a lake up in South Lake Tahoe that is just for kids. So parents can help their kids, but let me see, did this thing? Yeah, I need to, you know what, let's go ahead, just hit the F7 sheet there, bud. There we go. All right, and we're going to pull these off. These are, all right, we're going to go ahead and close this one and open the coupler. Okay. And all these are going to come over here. What's up, Chris? Hello. Is there an option in the solo game to generate random trains with cars and deliver them to industries? Yes, there is. Is there something similar to missions in Railroader in the solo game? Okay, so the thing about Run8, first question first. Yes, there is. You can go and use, and of course I'm running this locally, so this is my own little server that I get on, and I just have it running in the background. It's not public for anybody, but when you're playing solo, if you go into left shift and F2, you can bring up the AI screen, and in the AI screen you can generate a train, and there's an option about that's labeled tagged for industries. When you click on tag for industries, you're presented with a list of all the different local symbols. So if you have like a series of industries, like all these industries here in the Empire area, Modesto and Empire Traction, everything is labeled as, for the industries, are labeled as MET 0204, MET 0305, MET 0406. Just MET tells me it's for all the industries out here in the Modesto Empire Traction. So I click on those, and you can either set with the slider switches, set those trains to spawn randomly. But typically on supply trains, I don't turn the sliders on. I leave them at 0%. And when I'm ready for a supply train, I just click on spawn now, and auto, which is the AI of the Run8, will actually look at your industries that for the locals that you've tagged, and will determine you need these cars. You may not get cars for every single industry, but you'll get cars to fill industries, and then it'll make a pretty good long train. For the MET, for the 3 ones, I get a train that's probably about anywhere between 4,500 to 5,500 feet long, depending on what I need. And then there's a couple of other industries that actually, like the MET transload, and then there's also Goliath mining. I get cars for them. Those are separate local tags, so I bring in a separate train. So yeah, to answer your first question, yes, you can generate trains. Now, is there something similar to missions in Railroader? No, they don't offer missions. And that was something that brings me to my story. Is I was looking for something that was going to be able to scratch the itch that I have for my own personal. Let me go ahead and, so I'm going to switch this to lead. There we go. My own personal model, model railroad. So I call this my virtual model railroad. I'm trying to monologue and drive a train at the same time. That never goes well. So that's one of the things I say, is that the only missions or scenarios that you have in Run8 are ones that you create for yourself. So you have a choice. Like today, I'm doing working industries, because pretty much A lot of the people that watch my stream, that's what they prefer to see. And occasionally I will do a road train. I've got one sitting down in Fresno that I need to bring up. Um, but the scenarios are what you create. Now the difference between Run8 and Railroader is Railroader, you're doing stuff. I mean, to me, okay, Railroader is a train game, and I say that with all due respect because it's an excellent game. But it's about the money. It's like farming simulator. You know, you do things to generate money, and there's nothing wrong with that if that's the kind of game that you like. With Run8, this is more along the lines with the car tags that you see above the cars. This is more in line with what you would see on a model railroad, where okay, I've got on a model railroad, I might have a car card system that tells me to take this box car to an industry and, you know, deliver it. And if there's anything that needs to come out, there'll be cards for those trains sitting at the industries. And a perfect example of that would be like this box car right here. This car is done, it's been turned, and the KCK tells me that this car needs to go to Kansas City. So it's going to end up going to, since it's primarily BNSF that brings cars in to the Empire Traction, then this will go back to the Barstow Yard. It will get sorted out into a train that's heading for Kansas City, and then we just slap locomotives on the front and the back if we want to do that, and then send it off the map to. And that's how Run8 works. There's not really a money aspect to it, which is honestly is perfectly fine. It's about the operation. It's about the realism of the physics of how trains operate. And when I say model railroading too, I mean, I looked at Trains 2022. I bought it last year when it was on sale, and that's a great one. It is a model railroad simulator, but the trains operate like they actually did when I had a model railroad back when I was younger. So not what I was looking for, but kind of was. But when I discovered Run8, this absolutely scratches the itch of model railroading and having my own little virtual model railroad. So, Chris, I hope that actually answered your question. It was kind of long-winded. So, synopsis, yes, you can generate trains that bring in cars for the industries, and no, there are no scenarios. So, great questions. Great questions. So, like this car tag, MET 0204, so I know if it's a MET 0204, I know it's coming to the Riverside Yard, and then the industry tag is SFP3 or 4. That goes to the industry, which I know is Stanislaus Food Products. Okay, let's see. Let me slow this down so I can read a question. There we go. 1. Is the base game sufficient to create routes and deliver cargo to the industries included in it? Yes. Will the base game alone be enjoyable, or do I need to purchase additional train packs as well? Okay, so great questions again. So like I said, your first question is the base game sufficient to create routes and deliver cargo? Yes, it is. When you buy the base game, let me get it going again here. I stopped too soon. When you buy the base game, you get the Needles subdivision and you get the Mojave subdivision, which are connected. And where they're connected, it's at the Barstow. It's the Barstow hump yard, classification yard. Oh, you're welcome for anytime. That's what I'm here for. That's the goal of my channel, is to actually train people. So all you really need is the base game. That'll get you started. You'll have trains coming in. You can sort trains. In fact, before I started my stream, I went to the Barstow to go take a look at the hump yard, and part of the default. And I'm going to make this statement that when you look at the trains that are running as the default if you do not get the very overpopulated, I call it they call it very populated. I call it overpopulated, and that's just in tongue in cheek. If you run just the base configs that come with the DLC, then yeah, I applied that one. Let me get another one in here. The very popular will give you a lot of work to do. Will give you a lot of work. And once again, I mean, the only thing you really need to do is sign up on the Depot Plus forums. I think I have a link in my description for them. Come off the brakes. You might move a little bit faster. All right, let's go. Come on, pull away. Thank you. All right. Oh, excellent answer, Doctor. Dr. RP. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Dr. RP. Just makes it easier on me. Or RP. But yeah, no, it's 220 miles, and they're legitimate miles. So the thing with Run8, if it takes 4 hours, and I'm using an arbitrary number, if it takes 4 hours to go from Fresno to Modesto, so that you can, or actually the riverbank from the Cowboy Yard in Fresno to the Riverbank Yard, which is just north of the Modesto and Empire Traction, then it will take you, if that's what it does in real life, it'll take you 4 hours in the game. It is a 1-for-1 realism. It's not sped up. There's no time speeding, anything like that. It's all 100% legitimate. So the servers that I run, there is, there's the Depot Plus server, which I just announced. They announced it on their site that on, what's today? In 2 days, the public Southern California server is coming down. So the other public servers that are out there, there's quite a few. Even when you buy the base game, you get the server software. And there's ways to set the server up so it runs headless, so it uses like next to nothing in resources. So you could actually set up your own server with, so that you can play on it, so your friends can play on it with you. You can keep it private. You can go public with it. I'm okay if anybody wants to actually advertise in my Discord channel that you got an open server. I want more people to know about Run8. Because in my search for a train simulator that was going to scratch the itch that I was looking for, this game, this was very not well known. So yeah, so you'll get a lot. And you'll get 3 locals that will run down the Mojave line. I think you get 1 or 2 that will go down the Needles line. On the base game, you'll have plenty of work to do just in the Barstow Yard alone. So, and it's a great way to start. Now, after you get the game and you say, okay, I want to expand, and say you want to play on our NorCal server or the Mohawk and Selkirk server, all you need is the base game and the NorCal DLC. Or the base game and the Selkirk DLC, because Selkirk has a lot to do. That's all you really need. You don't really need to expand into the Mohawk side if you don't want to. If you're a fan of like this, all you need is the base game and the Fresno and Modesto DLC, which will give you just this stuff. And that's it. Let me get caught up on some of the chat here. Second question is, will the base game alone be enjoyable? Yeah, it is enjoyable. But yeah, maybe getting your next, getting another DLC. You'll get to a point where it's like, I want to do more. That's how I was. I stayed with the base game for quite a bit. So Christian says the same thing. I love Railroad, but I also like the sim aspect of being in the cab on Derail Valley. Run8 seems like a good in between. However, Run8. You're right. I like Derail Valley. Don't get me wrong. I play that too. I haven't done any streams on it. I don't know. My goal is to get people more aware of Run8. And you talk about being in the cab. All I really need to do is just hold down the F11 key and click on the locomotive. I'm inside the cab, and I could run everything inside. From inside here. We can open up windows, doors, so we can hear things better. I can do everything from inside the cab if I wanted to do it that way. I don't know, just for my own thing, it's easier. Whoa, hold the phone, wrong side. All right, anyway, so, yeah, but I mean, as far as like realism goes, and I like the changes. Oh my gosh, the latest update for Derail Valley was amazing. I like the changes that they came up with. But as far as the actual physics of how trains operate, that's still Run8. Let's see what we got. Devious. What we got going? Devious 2. I'm a newbie on playing PC games, and this looks interesting, but the base PC setup. Okay, wait, interesting. What the base PC? Okay, all you need is, if you go, there's a link in my description to Run8 Studios. The base game is really all you need. Once again, you can start playing Run8. You'll have 220 miles, thank you, DRRP, 220 miles of mainline. And that's when you look at the DLCs and they tell you how many miles are in there. That's just the mainline stuff. I mean, you start adding on more, like all the little sub routes and everything else. You can, I mean, I think all total, I want to say all total right now, we're up to over 1,500 miles of mainline just for the Southwest. And okay, we're gonna go find. Let's go find BRE. I want to look at the map before I get rolling out here too far. BRE. Oh, that's an easy one. Okay, so I'm gonna go stand on the steps up here. There we go. Let me get back to the chat so I can see the chat. £413. Now, I guess in your fishing game, you must be doing. I'm going to venture to guess that you're doing saltwater, not freshwater stuff. So, let's see. With Railroader, seems to be there is an economy, Christian, in Railroader. An incentive to run cars to different industries. With Run8, it seems like you just have to make stuff. Not really, no. I mean, the thing with Run8 is the industries when you get the DLC, the industries are already in place. Now, I use the example, and I'm gonna, I've got air quotes going, that if you want to work on the scenery in Run8, scenery would be setting up through trains. So you have life on the map, setting up industries. So you might take a look at an industry and go, hey, I don't want this to receive boxcars, and I don't want them to just make empty boxcars. I want them to make loaded. You can go down and you can configure the industries. Run8 is extremely configurable. And with Railroader, yes, there is an economy. That's why, and I'm not doing it as a slight, but Railroader is a train game because of the money aspect of it. In order to expand your railroad, you have to make money, and that's really, I mean, in real life, that's why a railroad is, in business, is to make, they're in business to make money. But in Run8, it's all about just trying to, you move cars and they come in, you spawn a train that'll have cars tagged for industries. Those trains are random when you spawn them. It's all, the AI of Run8 will look at the industries and go, okay, you need these cars for the industries that you say that you want to do. And it's all done by local, not by industry, but by local, and whatever industries are tied to that local. So. Oh yeah, no, it's, you know what? I mean, I jumped in with both feet. Yeah, the DLC, the base game, it can be expensive when you start buying all the DLCs and all the car packs. You do what I did. I didn't. I mean, what I did is I budgeted myself. It was $40 because every map DLC is about $40. So I budgeted myself $40 a month, and it was either going to buy a map DLC, which when I completed getting all the maps, then I took that $40 and it was either, you know, buy a car pack, you know, or something, you know, something else, and then later on it was I saved the money up and ended up buying, you know, was it a rail driver, which that's a whole nother conversation. All right, so this first track right here going off, that should be BRE. So I'm gonna have to go grab and pull those cars out. And then we're just gonna push back. It's a short run. So this is track 424 brewery, which there is actually a track 424 brewery. And the other reason I actually like this DLC is because it's right by where I live. So that's the other cool thing when you get a DLC that's in your neighborhood, you know, and you're like, hey, I know where that is. I know what this is. That's pretty cool. All right, let's come to a stop. Little auto brake. Let's jump back down on the ground. Just about 9 pounds of air. Did we clear the switch? Not quite, but that's all right. We're gonna go back and take a look. What do I got? I think I do have one back here. And yep, it's go. Oh, that 2 tag like that RV. That is a tanker going to Roseville. So eventually, this tanker will go to Barstow, and then the 2 tags tells me it'll eventually head over to the UP network. So once it goes to Barstow will build a train and either set it out, and part of the base DLC is you get the flat switching yard Yermo, which is Union Pacific, and so I can have a train come down and then take it up to Yermo, or if you get the Cajon DLC, then you get the West Colton hump yard, which is Union Pacific's hump yard. So there's, it's hugely expansive. If you think about how many miles there are, it's huge. What kind of scenario? Well, once again, there's no scenarios, Chris. That's the one thing. The scenarios are what you create. So my answer to you would be, what kind of scenarios do you want to create? When you walk into your virtual basement and say, okay, I want to play my trains. What then? What do I want to do? Do you want to run a road train going from point A to point B, or do you want to? I gotta take a look at something. I'm just looking at. Let's see. Devious. Depends on how old his PC is. If it's within the last 5 years, I would say you're probably okay. Right on the, there is a page on the Run8Studios.com that tells you what the minimum requirements are. You're fine, Devious, with a GeForce 2070 and 32 gigs of RAM. Your GPU is fine. The RAM is definitely fine, more than plenty. What kind of processor? But it sounds to me if he's running a 2070, your processor is probably good and you're probably okay. But you can definitely check out the Run8 Studios site to see what their minimums are. And Hank's right. So they will sit for 24 plus hours. So you can set, you can go down. I'm trying to think of what industry it is. There is an industry that was set by the Depot Plus that cars ran, it took them 2 hours to turn. And that's the way the industry operates in real life. But you can turn cars in a matter of like 1 hour minimum, 2 hours, or you can go out to take 3 days, 4 days. in terms of the number of hours. It all depends on what you know, how fast or how slow you want to run, you want to turn the cars. So. So, Christian, to your question about other servers, the point, and we'll have to do it again because I've done a couple of operating sessions, and on the Roseville DLC, the huge thing on the multiplayer server is when you start playing with other people, and you can actually, I mean, honestly, I could be sitting in the cab of the locomotive and not get out of the cab because I've got somebody on the ground playing conductor telling me what to do. So just like they would do in real life, it's like I'm not going to be able to see, where I'm at. So I'm going to sit here. I would tell the engineer, hey, you got about 10 feet to couple, and that'll do. All right. Set your brake. Give me 3-step. They tell you that they've got 3-step, and then you go back and just as an engineer, and that's about the most I would see. I am your tutorial devious. That's the part now, and there is no open tutorial. That's the one thing, and that's the goal that I have with Run8 is I want to be. Oh, I got the air passing. Let me close that off. There we go. And we'll come back, and we're going to wait for the CFM to come down. We're way down. Open that up. Okay, so full open on the angle cocks. So I'm basically I am your tutorial. There's such a large learning curve on Run8 that's my particular mission is to help people get into Run8. And yeah, and my how-to videos. Thank you for pointing that out. I do have some of the basics on those, and if something else comes up, then I can do a how-to video on it. I know Big Chris is it's tongue-in-cheek, kind of upset with me, but I haven't done a how-to video on how to add enhancements. You cannot add cars, you cannot add engines or anything like that to the game. You can't mod it like you can mod Railroader, but you can get enhancement that will change the skins of locomotives and of cars. And if you look deep into the files on the enhancement Discord, you will probably find something that will be exactly or very close to what you're looking for. If you're looking for like adding graffiti to cars or a certain livery for your locomotive. All right, so we're going to pull this forward. Push this one back a little bit, and then we'll back these 3 cars in, and then we'll go backward. We're going to run backwards and push this car. Since it's very short, I'm not going to do a run around. You know what? Join my Discord there, Devious. Join my Discord, and what I will do is we'll get you, you can buy, like I said, just get the base game. And I'll open up the server, the Southern California server, so we can do a little training on what to do. I'm okay with that. And that goes for anybody else too. If you guys want, get a little bit of training. I do have a membership piece, but you don't really, I mean, I just was playing around with that. I mean, I'm not a stickler on that, to be honest with you. Chris, you know what? Give me a minute. Let me do that real quick, because I'm actually, like I said, this is my own personal Southern California server. So if I bring up the left shift F2, I'm met with this screen. This is what you see if you have the ability to create trains. You don't see the full menu. I'd have to actually get out of the server here. But join my Discord, reach out to me. We can meet up on Discord. I can show you how to do it. I kind of, for the purpose of this stream, want to kind of keep going if you don't mind. So. Hey, Hank, do you have Fresno? It's here. I know. I think DRRP. I think you have Fresno. Either one of you two. Okay, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the handbrakes on here, and I'm going to come down here. Okay, Hank doesn't. I think Dr. RP does. I would, because he is a member, I could actually get him to, we're going to pull this forward now. All right. Always want to make sure that you close your angle cocks, because if not, you'll blow the PCS or the pneumatic control valve. You're 100% all routes. You know what we can do is, if you want, sir, jump into Discord. I will meet you there in a minute. And I believe I've already opened it up. Let me get these cars put away. All right, jump on. Let's ride these back. And what I can do here, if I hit my industry tab button here, you can see the industries popped up. So that shows me where the industries are. And if you look real careful, I don't know if you guys can see that, there's a series of orange dots. So as long as I push these cars back, and even like one, all it has to take is one truck. That's it. To get me in the orange dots, and the car can get work. Well, this entire line would go all the way back. Of course, we wouldn't block the road. Your 3-day weekend starts tomorrow, Christian. Hey, same thing for you too, Christian. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. If you guys want to jump into Discord, we can jump. I'll meet you over there in the Barstow area, and we can do a class session. I'm okay with that. All right, Chris. You know what, Chris? You can ask as many questions as you want. I always say, it's the basic rule. The only dumb question is the one that goes unasked. Is there only one locomotive in the base game? Are there other? Okay, so let me show you this. Let me get these cars parked in here. We'll tie them down, and I can show you this. So let me get back. So, and then that's what I was saying before. Is thanks Hank, for doing that. You have all the cars. The only thing about it is all your cars that you don't have are going to look like Run8 box cars. That's the base. And when you buy a car pack, you're buying the skins to replace those box cars to make them look like tankers or stacked, bare tables, or stacked cars, whatever. And even on the container, on the well cars, they come in domestic and foreign containers depending on what your needs are and how you want to run your railroad. You can get down with Run8 and literally create your own model railroad with your own industries, something completely fictitious. If you're into being hyper realistic, you can do that as well, which is, I don't want to say hyper, I shouldn't have said that, but that's kind of how Depot Plus is. All the guys over there on the Depot Plus, they are all real railroaders or retired railroaders, and so they play like they work. So we're going to pull back, and then what I'm going to show you here real quick, I do left control and F1. I'm met with this panel here, the Train Maker Upper, TMU. And if you look at this list, this is all Amtrak stuff. And if you look here, everything here is blue, light blue. I'm 100%, so we're not going to see anything that's going to be gray. But if you have anything that's gray, all that means is you don't have the skin. Okay, so we can do, I can go to a freight local. Here's all the locomotives. I'm scrolling down the list. SD70s, ES44s, different liveries. We have BNSF, CSX, Kansas City Southern, Norfolk Southern, a couple of different variations of that. We got a Run8 version, Denver, Rio Grande, Katy, SP, so Western Pacific. So I mean, there's a lot of different liveries. So I mean, honestly, for me, I just got tired of looking at boxcars. I wanted something. I wanted the representations, and the enhancement Discord channel will actually you can get a new skin. The file name is exactly the same as what the file name is for that car, but I could get, say, this car here with a bunch of graffiti on it. That's usually what we find, or maybe a little bit more enhanced, better paint job, a little more details, and that's what all you're doing is you're replacing the skin file. So whatever you replace or add, back up, back up, back up, back up. That's my latest how-to video. It was all about backing up everything. Run8 is installed a little bit differently than other games. So what you can do with Run8, and it's perfectly acceptable and highly advisable, that once you buy the game and then you go and they'll give you a web page link, you go download the base DLC. Before you install it, before you do anything, copy the file that was downloaded to an external hard drive, thumb drive, copy it to the cloud somewhere in a anywhere in a secure area. So if for some reason your computer melts down, like mine just did recently, you can actually reinstall everything and not have to go back to Run8 and say, okay, here's my purchase, this is my code, can I get another copy? So, and honestly, once I have, for Run8 version 3, I have everything installed. What I did is I went to the parent file, just click copy, and then click paste into an external hard drive. And then when my C drive just recently melted down, when I went to go put Run8 back on again, I went to the external hard drive and just reversed the process. Just copied and pasted it back to the C drive, and it works. Yes, there is a you can use your imagination. You can do, like I said, you can create your industries. Now, the Depot Plus, they actually have done a lot of work on their end for, that is closed. And so we're going to go ahead and we'll go partial, watch the CFM come up and then come right back down again. I usually wait till it gets below 70 before I go full open. That's just so I don't blow the PCS. And now this will be an easy one. I'm going to ride this side back here. I can even change the panel, the tags on that if I wanted to. Click here and say I want to do combustible. Now I got combustible tags there. It's up to you. But yeah, everything. It's your imagination. And thanks, Hank. Yeah, and that's the other piece I was going to say is that if you go with all the Run8 boxcars, they're still going to run. The cars will operate like they're supposed to. So even though you're looking at a Run8 boxcar, but let's say it's a tank car that's for an industry that wants a loaded tank car. Well, the car will come in loaded. It'll look like a boxcar, but the industry will treat it like a tank car. And it'll still work the car as expected. It's, like I said, it's to get you going. It's the way to do it. After a while, you're going to be able to probably get like me and go, hey, I really love this game. I want to start getting the car packs. I want to see stack trains coming through. I want to see the auto racks coming through. The unit grain trains or unit coal trains. So, and a real quick note, if you guys join my Discord, just, hey, once you join, it should get you right into the NorCal side. So you're going to see a lot of the stuff for the Roseville subdivision. That's the server that my good buddy Kung Fu Beer hosts. If you haven't checked out his videos, you can check out his videos as well too. Highly recommend them. Let's see. But anyway, yeah, if you decide later on you want to do Roseville, Roseville is a standalone DLC. All you need is the base game, and you can work from Roseville, California, up and over the Sierra Mountains to Sparks, Nevada, and back again. Let's see. Oh, okay. So you will purely have to use your manual. AI will spawn trains from a pre-generated list of trains. That train may be a through train. In fact, most are, but on occasion, one will be a supply train that stops in the yard and you can work. Bingo. So the train that train, by delivering the cars to the industries they are tagged for, the AI through trains give the map life as they drive on by. You get the rail fan. That is absolutely spot on, Hank. Thank you very much for that. So, and he's not wrong. I mean, if you're into rail fanning, if you love going out rail fanning, Run8 is excellent for that. Now there are track speeds. The track speed here is 15 miles an hour. In fact, pretty much everywhere here in the Met, it's 15 miles an hour. So I'm going a little bit slower here. Let's get this thing moving. The rule of thumb that I use for myself is I try to stay right around 10 miles an hour, because especially in yards, that is the rule that is in place on the Depot Plus. That when you're in a yard, it's 10 miles an hour, even though on the DLC it might be 15. And that's based upon real life. Yep, yard speed is 10. This is, although in this area here it's 15. So, and as you can see, if you look right up here where it says miles per hour, I have SS on there, stands for slow speed. I turn slow speed on, so basically it's slow speed is holding the train at 9.1 miles an hour. I'm going to get on the ground and I'm going to run like Forrest Gump. And I do want it to go off this way, but I don't want it to go. We're going to set this one back to normal. And I think I'm going to go start building outbound cars here. So eventually, the M10101, and I missed that switch. See, I was monologuing. I make mistakes so you guys don't have to. But, so the way that the Depot Plus has this set up, and that's the configuration I'm using, is the M10101 is the Empire Yard. I'm going to do a flyover here so you guys can see instead of just talking about it. Let's get this car parked. All right. But you guys, I keep saying this, you guys, if you do get either the NorCal DLC, the Selkirk DLC, or the Norfolk Southern Pittsburgh Line East DLC, along with the base game, you guys have all you need to access the servers that I'm hosting or are being hosted for me. It happens. Here's the thing. I had it the other day when I was setting it up, because I brought this train up from Fresno, and just as I was getting into Riverbank, it picked a switch, and I walked the train and could not find the truck that was sitting on the ground. So I'm like, okay, maybe it reset itself as it was going through the switch. Well, it kept derailing, and I was like, it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be one of these cars. I don't know where it's at. And then I did find it, and then you can either re-rail it the easy way, or you can put down click on that on the truck, and if you want to place, you can place a re-railing frog, forward, reverse. It's not derailed, so it's not going to show me. Or that's why they're grayed out. Or re-rail like a little piglet, which you just click that and it just puts it back on the rails. So it's your choice on what you want to do. If you do the re-railing frog, then you got to have your train pull it up, and hopefully it does it the first time. Yes, Chris, I guess that's the best way to say it, that it's a link in the description to the enhancement Discord channel, where you have people that actually will they make skins for the cars, and they also make different horn sounds, different bell sounds. So which you can add your own, add a horn sound or a bell sound. It's part of the configuration. Just remember that when you're replacing a skin, then it's going to replace the actual file that came from one of the DLCs. So you just can't add it. That's just the way it works. That you can't add the skins. You have to have the actual skin pack, and then whenever you did I do that? Yeah, I did. So whenever you do a new skin or what's called an enhancement, back up the original. So when you put it on, if it doesn't meet your needs, you can always put it back to the way you found it. Alright, let's get away from this. There we go. Back up, take the pressure off the coupler, uncouple. Let's pull forward a little. There we go. And we'll set the independent brake here real quick. I'm going to go into free fly mode, or what I call drone mode, so we can look over. This is the Riverbank Yard here. Industries go all the way. You can see where all the industries are out here. This is where the BRE is, where the tankers we just dropped off, and they go beyond. If I fly over, we get over here. Here's if you're familiar with Ernest and Julio Gallo wine. That it comes out of Modesto, and this is a huge yard. Now when you buy the DLC, there is a configuration that comes with it that is different here than what is being used. I actually kind of liked it, but the Depot Plus just chose to go with their own, and it's okay, it still works. So I head out this way. Once again, more industries. There's BRE, which are the tankers we just dropped off. And I'm flying over. I mean, there's the McClure Yard. I got cars in the McClure Yard that need to be worked. Here's the Empire Yard. So, and the way this is set up is this would be your inbound yard. BNSF would bring inbound trains here, and then the North Yard are for, I got, their local, the M&ET Riverbank is what I have. RBB to M&ET switchers are sitting there. I've had 2 trains come in so far, and those would be where the outbound cars, like the ones I'm picking up. Here's the M&ET 0101 runner. Its responsibility is to take cars once they're sorted on these tracks, to take them to one of the 3 yards. One of the first yards is right here. We've got the M&ET 0406. We got cars that need to be worked, and these are cars that'll go back to BNSF, which will go back to the North Yard. So give you an idea. Then we have, we got cars here that need to be pulled out, but I have nothing to switch there right now. Then we got the Goliath track. That's what I was talking about before. But this gives you an idea of, this is just the M&ET. So I'm going to do a flyover. So we're going to go north. We'll start at the north end. This is the Fresno to Modesto DLC, to give you guys an idea of how much you get in a DLC. And there was a great thing I was watching yesterday. It was Spur Gaming. Someone was talking about that they were kind of upset that they're not seeing as much railroading and coming out in these DLCs. His explanation is exactly what I was thinking already, is that, all right, CSX, have a good one, man. Good luck on your fishing game. Hope to see you over on NorCal here pretty soon. Anyway, his explanation was incredible. I mean, it was in line with mine, is that Run8 is trying to find that happy medium with a lot of railroading versus how much they're going to give you. I'm not explaining it very well. They could give you, like, in the base game, 220 miles of mainline, but on an individual basis, is that easy for someone to work? No. The latest DLC is about 87 miles of mainline, but there are 11 different locals. So that means there's enough industries that you can choose one of 11 locals to work that DLC. Here's an example of what we're looking at is the northern terminus or endpoint for the Fresno to Modesto DLC. When this DLC was being created, their plan was to go all the way up to Stockton, and that's Stockton, California. But when they got into Stockton, as much railroading as there is down in Modesto and the Modesto and Empire Traction, there's even more in the Stockton area. And they said, okay, Stockton is now basically the Southern California of the Central Valley in California. There's so many industries in Stockton that it had to become a DLC unto itself. So to go from Modesto to Stockton, maybe an hour or two by train. On Amtrak, when I ride it, it's maybe about an hour and a half between the two, between Modesto and Stockton. But the amount of local activity, local trains that you can work, and the industries that you can work, a lot. So, but anyway, we're up here at the northern part of the Fresno Modesto, and now we start flying south. And this is just the BNSF line. Over here somewhere is the Union Pacific line. So you have two different train lines here. And then we come in, this is Riverbank, which is where the trains for the M&ET, I bring them up to Riverbank, and then I'll have the locals. There's a local train that'll bring it down, and then there's another local train that actually works other industries that are off of part of the BNSF line. So, and then we got the North Yard for the M&ET, and then there's the M&ET Yard, and so on. I'm just going to do a quick flyover, not talking too much about this, but I will point out that because like I said, this is right smack I live right in the middle of this DLC in real life, and everything is accurate. I mean, absolutely. Even the station that I get on to take Amtrak to go visit my daughter when she was living in Sparks is modeled 100% accurately. So we're still flying south down the BNSF line. And I believe, I think I have a road train sitting down here in the Cowell Yard, but we're just going to keep heading down. I want you guys, and I'm moving pretty fast, but you're going to get an idea of how much mainline there is. And you can see, here being an agricultural area, Central Valley, California, huge ag area, and you can see the different, there's the different turnouts of different industries. I was thinking, I didn't time it. It felt longer. But yeah, it's about a 3-hour run. And we go off here. This would actually be, well, it's an industrial park now. But back in the day, this was Castle Air Force Base, which they give you, was it Andrews? Edwards Air Force Base. It's Edwards on the BNS on the base game, but it's only represented by one building because that's all the train hits is just the one building. So they didn't do the entire Air Force Base, and they do that because it cuts down on the processor load. This is the station that I get on to go visit my daughter. Like I said, that is 100% accurate. So that's a little town of Merced. We just went to where the Castle Air Force Base is, would be Atwater, and we've got local industries that are actually in operation as of today. The era that's modeled is like 1995 to 2005. They do take some liberties to give us things to do. Oh, you ran the south okay, so about 3 hours on the UP side. They've been busy I've noticed that. I got up in the middle of the night and I was hearing, I think it was BNSF coming through town just by the way the horns sound and the distance. But a lot of times I can actually hear Union Pacific blowing their horns. So they'll come through on one side of town, BNSF on the other. I don't think you can see them. Well, yeah, you got the mountain range out there. There's the Sierra Mountains, and actually somewhere out there would be Yosemite National Park. Don't go there, though, on the map. I'm just pointing it out. What's the go-to DLC after you get the base game? That's a hard one. The reason I say it's hard is because for me, growing up as a kid, I spent a lot of time, and having a godfather that worked for Southern Pacific, I spent a lot of time going back and forth over the Sierra Mountains. So when they came out with NorCal, that excited me. Now they came out with Fresno to Modesto, that excited me because it's right in the middle of where I live. I would, if you're excited by, the trains that are in your area, maybe take a look at a DLC that might be close to your area. Oh, thanks, Hank, and catch you later too. First one or two to get. If you want to, it depends. I mean, okay, let me ask you this, Christian. What is your favorite railroad? I mean, one thing I'm hoping for to see would be Kansas City Southern DLC, something like that. Only because, and I mean, eventually, and even for our Canadian friends that play a lot of Run8, I'd like to see some Canadian DLCs. I don't hold my breath because I know there's a lot of things that are in the works. This one actually surprised. I have to admit, this one surprised me. This one is very close to where my son's ranch is, and this is actually it's a ethanol plant in real life, and I had no idea that they had a tanker loop back here. So I have not even worked these locals. I've been spending all my time playing around on working locals in the Met, and that gives you an idea that you can spend a lot of time, since your time frame is 1-for-1. You can spend a lot of time just playing in one certain area. So if you like Southern California, BNSF and Union Pacific, that's a toss-up. I know that Mateo server is probably one of the biggest public servers out there right now. He does the Southwest, which is the area that I'm in right now, which is all part of, and I can give you an idea of what that looks like going through the dispatch screens. So this dispatch screen, once again, this is not a map. This is the dispatch screen. There are maps that are available, and that's what you see in the lower left-hand corner of my stream is the map for the Met. But this is a representation of like what a dispatcher would see, and they would just be the part of the tracks that are controlled by the dispatcher. And I've got a train right here, Kansas City. I can tell by the tag that's Kansas City to Richmond, California. So it's and it's heading through. The dispatcher is giving him clearance all the way through, and he'll be going on to the Mojave sub. This is part of the Mojave sub right here. We've got a grain train right here heading for Fresno, as a matter of fact. And then coming up to C, he's cleared all the way through here. Here's another Richmond to ELP. I'm not sure what ELP is, but here's another one coming from Richmond. Looks like they're going to collide, but you know, I trust Otto. I can tell by the way this tag is. This is a Union Pacific. It's coming from Roseville heading to West Colton. So it'll come down on the. It'll eventually come down here onto the Cajon sub, which right now I'm looking at this is all tied up. So I'm gonna have to go spend some time. Yeah, I'm just like that's why I was just pointing out the mess on the UP. I have to go down here and take a look. And everything that's got a tag showing up means that it's already AI'd. So if it was just a red spot on the track, it's probably not an AI train. The red here is probably because this train is so long it's taking up the 2 blocks. But I'll come down here off stream, fix that. Some of it might be just deleting trains. Others might be like rerouting and taking up the mess. Because sometimes, Otto does a good job, but he's not perfect. So Cajon sub, oh my God, look at this mess down here too. Holy moly. I'll bet you anything I got trains facing each other. And they're like looking like, you move. No, you move. So that and the fact that, look at the receiving yard here in West Colton. So I'm going to go clean that up real quick. So, but this is, right, it does it absolutely. And so I'm just going to hover on one of these tracks. I'm going to hit the space bar and it's automatically going to transport me. And for me, what I do is I look at things like car tags. And yeah, I got a full receiving yard here in West Colton, but all these car tags are tagged for West Colton. Okay, where do they go from there? And now I have 2 options. I can retag them and send this train on its way, or I can just go ahead like I'm going to do and just delete them. YR to the WC, that's Yermo to West Colton. So West Colton is a classification yard or a hump yard, and so they get here, but what does it do? What after that, what do you do with it? So a lot of times it's just faster to delete these, open up the receiving yard, and that might be just enough to get trains moving in. So like I've got this train waiting to come in. So simple things to do just to get trains moving. The other thing is I can make a note of the train as well, and then later on go in and work on the train, not the AI trains, and maybe retag them, not for West Colton, but maybe change them to tag for industries. If they're coming into West Colton, and pick a local, and okay, those cars are now coming in, or maybe tag it as a through train with a bunch of different destination tags like Richmond or something, and maybe instead of having that train stop at West Colton, I can have it continue on through and go off the map up by Modesto or north of Modesto. It's like Stockton, STO would be Stockton, ST, Stockton for Union Pacific. So, but my purpose of showing this, and then we get down into San Bernardino, let me hit the tab key, and we'll cycle through all these maps, not maps, dispatch screens. So it gives you an idea of how much trackage there is for Southern California, to answer that question. The other one that's out there, it'd be like the high green. That's Southwest. That's CSX territory. And they give you a lot of tracks that go from, Georgia down into Florida. So that seems to be the other populated one, just because it's got, I think the Southwest one is the largest. If you get all the DLCs, it is the largest. So once again, if you walk into your, let's go back to my train, transport the train. There we go. Um, so, whoa, ground view. So if you want a lot to do, you can continue to add on to the Southwest. If you're a CSX fan, then maybe the high green server would be a good one. If you're Norfolk Southern, then Pittsburgh Line East. That one is a sleeper for me. That it doesn't look like there's a lot to it. There is a ton to do on Pittsburgh Line East and the South Fork Secondary. Um, so the answer to that question is, what area do you live in? What area are you a fan of? What particular train are you a fan of? But then again, Run8 is so configurable. You could start with the Southwest and say, okay, I'm going to come up with my own fictitious Norfolk Southern area or CSX, or make it a combination of CSX and like it's Southwest is a combination of real life BNSF and Union Pacific. Turn it into combination Norfolk Southern and CSX with Barstow and West Colton being the two primary hump yards. One you can make one for one one company. It's whatever you want to do. It's that configurable. Probably the closest for Minnesota would probably be, I would say, either the Pittsburgh line east or, which is Norfolk Southern, or Selkirk and Mohawk, which is more New Jersey, but that's CSX territory. If you're looking for a solo, I'm thinking honestly, it's not overwhelming, and that would be the Northern California one. And which again, yeah, that's primarily Union Pacific, but does it have to stay Union Pacific? No. You can make it whatever you want. Let's see, let's go ahead and get back to work here. Yeah, New York. And actually, Hank and I were he is gone now, but he was running the Pittsburgh line, and we figured out that the Finger Lakes interchange yard for CSX on the Mohawk subdivision is almost directly north of an interchange yard that Norfolk Southern had on the Pittsburgh line, that we actually made them so that, and it was something that worked, that he could get a train, take it to that yard, copy the file, send it to me, and vice versa. I would take a train and build it in the Finger Lakes yard, copy the file, send it to him, and then he would bring the file in on his map. I'd bring his file in on my map, and then I had industries set up that would convert the cars to industries that were needed on my map. If a car was loaded, it would pick a loaded car. Hey, what's up, Bill? Actually, you're not, and Dr. Detroit's in the house too. What's up, Quincy? How you doing? You know what? I know they were talking about Quincy there on the on Spur Gaming. I heard your name mentioned a few times, but it does look nice. I should have that. Let's see. I have it budgeted for when I get paid, which should be either tomorrow or the day after. And when I get paid, I'm getting the new AGS line, and I'll be starting a server on that one too, just to let people play with it. Seeing me play this on Train Sim 19, found myself before bed shunting cars and coaches, making manifests. Hey, you know what? Working now Train Sim is awesome. I think the one thing that kind of chased me away from, I don't want to say it that way, but that didn't really get me was I was chatting with somebody that does stream a lot of Train Sim, and he does 19 or 22. I think he does 22, and that was trains, not train sim, but trains. And his words were that on trains you cannot bring trains in like you can with Run8. He goes, that's the one thing he wishes that trains would have, is that ability to generate supply cars. I often wondered. I am wondering, Quincy. So it's like a lot of things. I mean, it was dormant. They're coming out with it, but I don't know. I mean, they put a lot of work in, and Spur actually, when I was watching his video last night, he did make a statement that the amount of time worked on one of these DLCs is about a year. And it's not like they have a development team. This is basically, it's an independent team. Oh wait, what am I doing? 3, 4, 4, and I need to push back into those, I think. Let me look at the map real quick. No, I'm going the right way. I need to pull down onto the South Main and then push back into 3 and 4, and I think these cars are not sorted. And I've got some more 3s right there too as well. So maybe we're going to pull those out. I can spend some time sorting those once everything else is delivered down my way. So if I find some JCD and DWG, which would be JCD Atmospheric Studio and Diamond Walnut Growers, those would go together. Oh, there's another one for BRE right there. So really what I should be doing is I should have been working this and sorting these out, and so maybe that's what I'm going to be doing now. I'll just be sorting. Okay. Quincy, how you doing, man? Bill? That's a good question. What is the forbidden route? Oh, Devious, you asked a great question. So I played Run8 for about a year, maybe year and a half, just off a keyboard, and it's fine. I mean, it was not a problem. I kept telling myself, dropping $200 and some odd on a rail driver, not worth it. You can just play keyboard. It's fine, because that's how I play Farm Sim. And I finally, once I had all the DLCs and everything purchased, it became one of those things like, wow, let me go ahead. I got some extra money. Let me go. This will be my Christmas gift, and I'll go get myself a rail driver. Probably never use it. It is so different. I mean, better controls over the trains, finer control over the trains. Kind of fun to be able to throw levers and stuff instead of hitting keys. I mean, and it very similar to, I'm drawing a blank on which locomotive it's very similar to, but it's just, I mean, it is night and day, and it's like, why did I wait? So it's up to you. So my answer to that question is, what can your budget afford? Good but tired. Yeah. The Dash 9. Thank you. That's what it was. I drew a blank on it. Oh, that switch. I didn't throw that one. Okay, now, so it was a spring-loaded switch. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But we are going to come into here. I've got a SUP, so I should pull that and put it with that car there. Where's SUP? Supermarket Associates. All right, so we'll grab that. We'll take this car, grab that car, put those two together, and we can stick them over here. I'm just going to do some sorting and answer questions. This is a good one. I like the questions that you guys are asking me today. Chris, congratulations. Welcome to the dark side. All right, like I said, Chris, go ahead and I'll jump into Discord after my stream, which I've got about 30 minutes left of the stream, by the way, guys. Limited retired budget until mid-January. Now, I understand that, Devious, but I'm here for you. When you jump in and ready, you know, you can jump into my Discord and we'll go ahead and I will help however I can. All right, these things are lined up. Let's go ahead. They got you working a lot, Quincy? Did they make you work on Christmas? Oh, that's, you know, the hand holding will be provided by me. That's it, Quincy. But he's not wrong. And I can't stress that it is a 1-for-1. Way too much. But you know what? At least you're working. Open that coupler up. Are we bled? We're fully bled. I don't need brakes on that train for what I'm going to do. Santiago, haven't seen you in a while. Good afternoon. Hope you had a great Christmas and hope your New Year's will be a lot of fun too. Bill, you're not wrong. You complain about the West Coast yards, the small size of the bowls. Yep, and I will tell you too. I mean, just my personal knowledge of, you know, going through and witnessing like the yard in Roseville, it's not nearly as big as it is in real life, and they don't have as many tracks as they do in real life. The only thing that I can say is that maybe it's because back in the day, that was the actual size of the yard back in the time frame, that in the era, but I don't think that that's true. I'm just trying to keep talking myself that way. So there's a lot of work coming. Like I said, I mean, with what was stated after Fresno Modesto was released, we have Modesto to Stockton coming, and then there was a hint. I took it as a hint that they're going to finish Stockton to Roseville. So they'll connect the Southern California, which is now the Southwest map, to, you know, Northern California, Roseville map. But don't hold your breath until I don't get excited until I see it. And it would be cool. I think, and every time they come out with a new update, that gap between Seiko and Goble, they're talking about fixing that with it, you know, when there's the next update. But that hasn't happened yet either. Even though I think that one's blood. Yep, even though those are blood, I'm going to go ahead and shove those down there. Ooh, you can hear the, wow. I dialed up the subwoofer on my rail driver, and I can really hear the air compressor on these MP15s really going. 7-34 Eagles. Wow. Who are the Eagles playing? Because I think the Eagles have to win in order to get into the playoffs, I thought. I really haven't paid that much attention to it, I mean, especially with the way my Niners have been playing. It's been painful. Well, you know, that's okay. We kind of forgive you, Bill. I mean, that just tells me that at one point in your life you were an abused child. Quit watching at halftime. You guys are. I don't know who's having a more painful season. I think maybe you guys are as a Cowboys fan. But yeah, it's like for a while there, I thought my 49ers were working real hard to stay at 500. But now they've gone below that, and I mean, we got the rumors going. I mean, the one rumor about Debo leaving, I expect that to happen during the off season. He hasn't been happy for years, because you know he's a receiver, but the way they've been using him, which has been very successful, but he just wants to be a pure receiver and he wants his ring, so he'll probably be gone. And then the other rumor is that Shanahan will be gone. Our head coach slash offensive coordinator will be gone. See, now Devious, if you're in Chicago, that's my ultimate dream DLC for Run8 is they're in Chicago and all around the south of the lake, because every Class 1 railroad has an interchange yard, and it would be really cool to have that in play. So, but like I said, we all have our wishes. I put that. I mean, there on the Depot Plus forums. If you sign in, there is, you know, what's your wish list? You know, and they're using that because the guys from Run8 are actually looking at that list, going, okay, what can we do? Who's quarterbacking for them right now? Because I thought Dak was out with an injury. And I thought that our old quarterback would, I can't remember his name now, would have gotten a try, but they chose not to. Open coupler. Yeah, pretty much everybody goes to Chicago. Okay, I'm going to look at the, go to the map again. So I need, oh, that's where the SFP, Stanislaus Food Products, has SFP. That's SFP1. So anything that's just SFP, ran, okay, gotcha. All right, I know what I need. So JCD, go to tag, Ernest and Julio. All these just can get put together. It doesn't matter what kind of cars they are, because they can get sorted over at the little yard that E and J, or E and G. Actually, it's E and J. So Ernest Gallo, but Ernest and Julio Gallo. GEP, where's GEP? Oh, that's right. GEP in here in the map is GPC, Georgia Pacific Corp. Okay. That's this one. I'm going to go grab that one. I can go deliver that because that's right off the yard. Cooper Rush. Trey Lance. And that's who used to be our quarterback, was Trey Lance. And then he got hurt, and then we ended up with Mr. Irrelevant, who's done a good job. Don't get me wrong, he's done a good job, but I think he's a great quarterback. I just don't think he's an elite quarterback. But he's done a good job. But like a lot of teams out there, we've had a lot of injuries. And it's coming into that time. I mean, other than like high school basketball, which is what I worked 3 days and ended up with food poisoning. God, that was painful. I'm still kind of feeling the effects of that. And I wonder how many of the coaches and refs ended up with it as well too. All right, we're gonna take this one. Come on. There we go. Set. Release. Between the cars is kind of on the tough side. Apply that one. I think that one. Oops. Let's go on this side, see if I can get it. There we go, and it's applied. Good. Just wanted to make sure I had a brake on that one. And yes, brakes are important. One of my first lessons that I learned in this big learning curve. Actually, I'm going to go into neutral. Since I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and make this the lead unit. There we go. Forward. But yeah, I mean, I didn't set brakes for a string of cars in Barstow, and then I went and worked the local. When I came back to get the string of cars, they were no longer there. I found them halfway to Needles. Alright, GEP is down there. Okay, let's go back. Check this. Go there, and all right, we'll come down here. That one's set right, and go there. All right, we're set in. Let's go ahead. Oh, it was fun. Yeah, I just like what I had. This is like when I first started. I'm like, what did I do? Why did my car? That's my first thought. Why did my cars disappear? And I don't remember all the details, but I remember that it just was like I was looking at the dispatch screen. I'm like, what's that red right there? Because I didn't have auto turned on. I didn't have the automatic train spawner turn on, anything like any AI trains going on. I'm like, what is this red right here? I don't remember that being there, and that's where the cars were, and they were moving. They were taking themselves to Needles, but wasn't good because they had to go down the Mojave sub, so they went the wrong direction. But that was my first, I think that was my first lesson. Whoa. My next lesson is stop monologuing and pay attention to what you're doing. There we go. Oh, and then my first lesson on playing on a multiplayer server was backing up it to the end of a track and making an entire, thank you, sir. Backing up to the end of the track that did not have a bumper and making the entire train disappear. But that's the biggest thing is if you find a server where you're not going to get yelled at, it's just like, oh, hey, no problem, we can fix that. Did you happen to save the train file? No, I didn't know I could. I'm new. So I learned that one too. So whenever you get a train, save the train file just in case you make it disappear. I've had, you know what? I've had that happen too. Where it's, I don't know if it's a server restart But like that mess when I was showing on the dispatch screen, when I get off, I'm gonna go fix that. And I've had some trains like just sitting in the middle of a track somewhere, no, not AI'd or anything, and it was holding everything up. So it becomes like, do I AI it or do I just delete it? 41-7 Eagles. Ow. See, right about there, we go into a fast clock at the school just to get out of it as fast as possible. AI spawning on a switch that was thrown against it, which it's not supposed to do. Yeah, a variety of different things. But that's what makes Run8 interesting. And I think that's another reason why I like Run8 so much is you get these little interesting problems and you just got to go figure out what the problem is. And lately I've been getting a lot of messages, that you have a stretch force problem on a train. You go down there and like, it's not even over a switch. And what it is, it's like it doesn't know how to deal with the fact that the train it's calling out is nose to nose with a train going in the other direction. They're not coupled, but it just happened to be, it's just one of those things that, Otto doesn't know how to deal with it, so it defaulted back to its little panic, and he started drinking heavily, and that's what he was saying. He didn't know what else to say. All right, let's get on the ground. We're going to go ahead. We'll pull this one, and it is already bled, so we don't need to worry about it. Yeah, it is. It's not. It's not perfect, but all things considered, I think it's still the best train, actual legitimate simulator out there. All right, so I think I got just enough time. We'll pull this one car out, set it here, take that car, put it back. Then we'll grab this car and connect it to this one because it's outbound. And then that'll be the end of the stream for today, guys. And I'll be back again next week, hopefully a little bit earlier. Right after the stream, too, I'll be in Discord. So if you guys want to chat, and if anybody, if you want to see different aspects of Run8 while not on a server, I'll be glad I can share my screen while I'm in Discord. You are the biggest one, Quincy. I'm gonna call you on that one because you're the one who was telling me that when Railroader came out, Run8 was going to be dead. And I'm going to tell you the second half of 24, Run8 gave us a lot of content, a lot. So far from dead. I think honestly, my impression is that it's growing. And that's just by people chatting in my, the growth of my channel, the growth of the chat in my when I'm streaming. I really do think that it is. I think it's growing. I think it's starting to be found. And that's been my ultimate goal for Run8 is if I can be that person that is going to introduce Run8 to somebody new. That's what I want. That's ultimately what I want. Oh, gotcha. You know what? I might have to change that then. Hang on. I might as well fire up Discord now while I'm thinking about it. Hang on. Let me grab here. And I want that one. Actually, let me get out of this. Hang on. There's that one. That. Change these settings here. Go here. Alright, there's a link to the Discord that should get you into it. Once you get in, you should automatically be given the role for NorCal. And there is a spot there. I mean, one of the channels in there is your ability to ask a question, leave a question for me, or one of my yard masters. So Zola, I saw your message over there. I just brought Discord up since I'm coming down to the end of the stream here. I will answer that here in just a moment. Whoa, there we go. All right, on board. Bring that to a stop. We'll push back. I think I'll try to see if I can sort out anything that's for Ernest and Julio Gallo. That typically is the last thing that I work when I'm in this yard, because they have a small little yard over there on themselves, and then I just sort out. All right, let's go ahead and get about 10 pounds of independence since they have no brakes on this car. And see, I don't worry. A lot of guys will worry about, hey, the door's not lined up with the dock. I don't worry about that. If you do, if you want to, that's up to you. You play the way you want to play. There's no wrong way to play Run8, other than making your trains disappear. Let's see, that's been set. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to push back a little bit. I got that open coupler is yellow, which means there's stretch force, so I'm going to push back. It turned white, so now I can go ahead and open it, and we're going to pull forward. Come down past that switch. And like I said, we're going to pick up this car here. We're going to put it on this track, shove it into that tanker, and that'll be the end of the stream. I got a lot more work to do in Riverside here, which will probably be done off stream, but I believe that I do have a very long train waiting for me down in Calwa that I need to bring up. Oop, I only need about 10 pounds to come to a complete stop. All right, come back, we'll grab this one. Go into reverse. I can always do. There you go. For those guys that are missing the horns and the bells. Okay, a little independent brake. Let's get it down to under 5 miles an hour. About 2 miles an hour to couple is perfect. All right. And we're not going to open that. We're not going to even do that. We're just going to release the handbrake on the car. So, Devious, I hope that link that I put up there worked for you. 12 miles an hour, a little fast. DLC track speed is 15, so I'm under that, but yard speed 10 is true to form. Alright, so that car is heading for Kansas City. I pointed that out earlier. Alright, let's go about 10 pounds, 9 pounds on there. Alright, attached to the car. Let's go in reverse. Yeah, Otto he was very generous when he created the train that I brought up to Riverbank. Gave me a good long string of cars for the McClure Yard, the Empire Yard, and then 2 long strings all on one train for here in the Riverside Yard. Riverside? Riverbank. Riverside. There is a town called Riverbank. I just drew a blank on that, so. Not to be confused with Riverside, California, because it's not. This is Central Valley of California. Modesto. What's up? How you doing, Colin? Showed up just in time for me to bring this to a close. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for showing up. Okay, good. Awesome. Happy New Year, Devious. Have a good one. Be safe. If you blow something up, make sure it's a huge explosion. All right, so these 2 cars are outbound, so we're starting our outbound build. I want this one. We're going to set the handbrake. We're also going to connect the air hoses, and we can go ahead and that one's open. We can open this one, but we're not open to the locomotive. We're going to close that one. It's at the end. We'll leave this side open. Locomotive's closed. We're going to go ahead and uncouple. Alright, so that's it for the day. Working here in the Riverside Yard, Modesto and Empire Traction in Modesto, California, which is right over there, about an hour north of where I live. So yeah, I like this. This is this is actually my favorite DLC now. And just do an overview here. I mean, Ernest and Julio Gallo is out in there. The actual Empire Yard is way over there. McClure Yard is right there. You can kind of see some cars right in there. That's McClure Yard. So the Fresno to Modesto DLC gives you a lot. Gives you a lot of work to do. And this was just a 2-hour stream, so you got an idea. Except for my little, some deviations to kind of show the overview of the map. Let's go down here. I want to go Yermo, Mojave, Bakersfield to Fresno, Modesto. No, I want Kawa. So I'm going to jump to the Kawa Yard real quick. And I want to see if that train, if I spawned in there, did I create it, or did I create it on my solo map? Let's see if it spawns in. Sometimes on a server it can take a while for trains to spawn in. And it looks like it's not spawning in. So let's go ahead and get another one started. So I have Kawa northbound and mixed freight. Random spawn. I've created a bunch of different ones. Random spawn. What do we got? So here's another long string of cars. This is all set. So that was an example that someone was asking is, can I call trains? I do. Fresno to Riverbank, RBB. I am actually going to relinquish that, stop the AI, because I don't want the AI to go. I want this one to sit here. So he'll just sit there and idle and relinquish, and then I'll take over the train. And then I've got all these cars that will go up to the Riverbank Yard and then be brought down by one of the two local Riverbank to Met trains that I have. So, Colin, yeah, this is, as I just said, Fresno to Modesto. This is the north side of the Calwa Yard. So this is Calwa inside of Fresno. This is for this area here, FRS. That's for your stack trains. So basically, it's a small, kind of like Barstow. It's a small little intermodal. I couldn't get the word out. Intermodal yard. So this train will head up that way. That's BNSF. This line going up this way, that's Union Pacific. So Union Pacific has their own yard somewhere down there, I think, or is it up there? I can't remember which. Let's go up this way. I think it's up this way. Maybe it is south. It's very close. It's almost, I mean, when you drive by it on the highway, they almost look like they're 1 yard. Trying to see. Yeah, see, that's BNSF coming this way. This is Union Pacific down here. Oh well, it's somewhere down here. But then this is all the Calwa Yard for BNSF. So from here, all the cars that I'm picking up in Modesto would go to the Riverbank Yard, RBB. I can build a train there, RBB to FRS, or better yet, RBB to BAR, Barstow, AI that train and let that train go into the Barstow Yard. At which point at Barstow, it would actually get classified into different trains going off the map, and we go from there. So that is there's the next train I have waiting for me. And I've created a bunch, and that's what I'm going to go do. And Discord right now is show people how to create that. Otherwise, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. And once again, my name is Kurt H, and I am the Lazy Farmer. This is Lazy Farmer Simulations, and this was Run8 Train Simulator, my Saturday morning stream. Running a little bit late today. I slept in, but then again, I'm entitled. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Have an outstanding rest of your day. If I don't see you before the New Year's, Happy New Year to you. I hope 2025 is hugely prosperous and healthy for you all. Take care. Thanks for being here.